Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday, and that means it's Shades of Bravo. We're going to do some shading towards Bravo. I've got my girl here. It's Deanna Cheng, my fellow MILF. What's up, girl?
God, it seems like many moons ago when we were chit-chatting about our MILFs,
I
the
know.
highs and lows of our MILFs.
I mean, what a time. What a
Really and
time.
truly.
And all right, so let me ask you this. I'm just making sure my Bluetooth is off because here's what happens sometimes when my son is home. He'll walk by the room with his AirPods in, and then that will pick up to my computer. And then all of a sudden I'm listening to like LeBron James at the Olympics. And I don't need that in my life. Um, okay, sorry, I checked it. He's not connected. We're good. Yeah, the MILF. So lots going on in MILF land. I had somebody reach out to me yesterday and say, "Oh gosh, you gotta talk to Kelly Mack, all this stuff that happened with Darren." And I was like, I'm good. Um, Deanna interviewed her. If you want to go check that out on how to be less old, Deanna interviewed Kelly Mack, and I think I'm fine with not finding out what happened.
I think it's okay. I think we can move forward,
Yeah.
and just they've decided not to be together. Okay. No skin
Um,
off our back.
you said when you spoke to her that she, maybe for show reasons, she didn't want to let the cat out of the bag that they ended up together on the show, but you felt like in current times they were not together. So you were wondering maybe if he just hadn't gotten that memo or
Yeah, the vibe was very much like it was great to meet Darren. She was so happy to have met him, but everything was in the past. So
right,
you
right, right,
know,
right.
I everything felt like it was a wonderful experience for that time and place.
Yeah, but now it's done.
Right. So then when it just came out a few days ago that they had broken up, you let me know. I was like, oh well, it seemed like she had broken up with him at least mentally about a month ago.
Oh, okay. He just
Yeah.
it didn't settle in with his soul, maybe.
No, I think maybe she just didn't like let him know,
Oh.
you know?
So funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then Lynette was posting quite a bit about her situation. So I was texting with Lynette, our BFF, and just said, Lynette, I heard Barbie on Reality Checked with LaKendra. No, with was it? It was LaKendra or Kiki Monique. It was one of the two of them were doing Reality Checked. I can't remember who does it now. Who does it now? Or do
I
they
don't
rotate
know.
still? Maybe they still rotate. But whoever it was, so she was on Reality Checked, and they were asking Barbie about the show, and she basically was letting other people's names out of her mouth that she was not supposed to be talking about. So I texted Lynette, like, oh, she said this, she said this. I can't remember what now. And Lynette wrote back, well, she's getting served today with a restraining order to keep my name out of her mouth. I was like, what?
Like our housewives don't even, hand out restraining orders too often. I mean, I can't remember. I'm sure it's
No.
happened, but I don't. I'm like, why are we in a restraining order area in Milk Manor? It feels extreme.
I'm like, you don't even live in the same city. Like, who cares if she shit talks you on a radio show? I mean, it's just more promo for the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
can't tell if Lynette is a drama queen underneath it all, or if this
Could
is
be.
just happening.
Yeah, I do know. Could be. Could be. Mhm.
I
Yeah.
do.
So our MILFs, the MILFs that keep on MILFing. Keep
There's
on
still
MILFing.
milfing out there. God bless.
Let us talk about what we're here to talk about, which is Bravo. I want to start off with New Jersey. And so I wanted to tell you guys, I know I've said, and I may have only said it on Prime, Patreon, Supercast, Apple. I may have only said it there, but I think I've said it here that I was very soon, supposed to be having an interview with Margaret. You guys know that we met her at BravoCon. She was fabulous. And Ingrid connected with her at a Black Crows concert of all things in New York City.
Hilarious.
And then I am friends with her PR person who I love very much. And so the interview is going to be delayed until September. So you guys, I know I said it's coming, but these are, when you want to interview people, you got to take what you can get. And what I can get is September.
Great. I mean, listen, September at the end of the day, we're in September right now. Do you know what I mean?
Metaphorically.
For
Yes.
all intents and purposes, we're in September.
Yeah, just to get myself through this upcoming taking my son to college and getting back, then all of a sudden we are in September.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be yeah. So anyway, that is going to happen, but it's not going to happen on the timeline I wanted it to. And that's the biz. That's the biz. That's the
that's
biz called
showbiz,
show.
baby.
Yeah. But New Jersey this week. So I'm trying because I wrote no show notes for this as I do with Bravo stuff. I just go off the
Oh,
dome.
cool. Just some vibes. Yeah, I like
Just
it.
and I like just chatting with you because we can always just cut it up with these shows. So
Yeah, make use of
Jersey,
Okay.
Jersey. Okay, so Teresa had the ladies over with James Leonard, who Margaret told us his office is next to the methadone clinic. She was saying meth clinic, but you can't get meth at a clinic, so she meant methadone.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you for that.
yeah. So what did you think about that meeting in Teresa's kitchen?
Oh gosh. I mean,
Hmm.
I actually said the words while I was watching it. I was like, I'm happy to have him here because
Oh,
I
good.
thought
Okay.
we're going to hear some things in a way that sometimes Teresa has a hard time articulating a situation and
Mhm.
getting her words out. I thought, all
Mhm.
right, he is holding our hands and walking us through it.
Mhm.
Now, it was what? That it was sort of the problem. And in some ways, I can understand how to hear that there's a legal case and that the confirmation of like Margaret was actually, based on what he was saying, spoke with Louis' ex, who
Mhm.
is actively suing him,
Mhm.
etc.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
is a heightening, of the situation. But we already sort of were told this was happening on a couple different levels. So it
Yeah.
just is it another layer of like, oh wow, that's pretty crazy. She was subpoenaed, right? Like that's
Yeah.
what they said. That is pretty crazy.
Dark. It's
Um,
dark. It just gets
it's
darker every
dark.
week. It gets darker every
Yeah,
week.
but it wasn't brand fresh, piping hot out the oven information.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's right.
Like
That's
we thought
right.
something was going to hit our ears anew, and that was just sort of like, oh, okay, okay,
I loved Danielle's reaction when Margaret sent that bouquet of flowers to the, RIP to your dignity.
yeah.
I mean, Danielle was like, "That shit is baller."
She is great. She's fantastic on the show. And yes, her eating the popcorn, the
Yeah. Yeah.
perfect, like we were her. I was
Yeah.
her. My
Yeah.
popcorn was ready. I'm happy to have a lawyer here walking us through. Do you remember the rumor that Teresa and him were together during the time that Joe was incarcerated?
Um, I don't remember that rumor, but God knows what rumors have come in and out of my
Yeah.
brain. I mean, I would be surprised if that's who she chose
Why?
because it seems she would choose a Louis type, a kind of a more younger, oily type.
He's actually probably pretty young, Mary
Oh,
Payne.
really? So are you saying you know this information?
No, I
You're
definitely
s
don't know it, but I did reflect back on that
oh,
rumor,
and you
which,
wanted it to be true?
I don't know if I just wanted to sit in it for a little bit and think about it, and just get cozy with it.
Well, she really, seems to be a very sexual person, and for her to go without sex for that long would be surprising.
He does also seem there's a level of comfort in the house. Like she was like,
Yeah.
there's just a familiarity that doesn't quite feel professional.
He's just going over to the cabinet, pulling out a cup, making himself a Diet Coke. He's there.
Yeah,
He's in the
he's
house. Yeah.
very much there.
Yeah. That's a
So
great
that I was
point.
like, huh.
Because at one point he's like, "Alright, I gotta go. I gotta go to the store. I'll see you guys later." Like, he's just like mid chat was like, "Yeah, I'll see you later. I gotta get back to the office." It was
Right,
right.
our work is done here. I mean, Gia also made us feel like this was going to be a bombshell. She's holding her mother's hand we're bracing ourselves, you know?
Right. And we were like, and then what happened? Nothing?
I mean, not
Yeah.
nothing, but it
Who
was
cares?
yeah.
Who
Well,
I mean,
do I care? I don't know. I guess I don't. I don't it's hard to say. I can't tell. Can't tell if I care or not.
well, have you listened to the Bravo docket? I think it's a 3-part series where they break down this case between Louis and Vanessa.
No, I have not.
Get your ears on that, Deanna. It is mind-blowing. So you think in your mind, like, okay, this Louis, he maybe ain't right in the head. He's a little touched. What's happening? Um, and then you get her the side of what she did, and oh boy,
Who's the
she
ex?
the ex.
Okay.
She's 10 times more nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, like a full-blown crazy narcissist lunatic. And it was
Wow.
wild with a capital W. And
Give
like
me like one thing.
okay, she would dictate to him and have him write in his handwriting things to like give to his therapist to try to get himself some lithium because she thought that's what he needed was lithium. So
Whoa.
she would dictate to him, "Okay, you need to say, I am a drug addict. I'm a terrible person. I talk too much. I don't listen to other people. I am manic. I stay up all night. I have a gambling addiction. I'm addicted to porn. I do not accept no when I want to have sex. I am verbally abusive to my children." Like all these things saying about himself and signing it to give to a therapist because she had decided that he needed lithium. I mean, when I tell you that's a sliver, it's a
Whoa.
sliver.
Okay.
It's insane. So, yes, he did one time, like, leave her in P-Town because, they had an argument. He was like, "Figure out your own way home." Um,
Okay.
so that she keeps going back and locked her out of the house, but I think he was like, "You're completely crazy, and I don't want you coming back to the home that I own with my children," and locked her out, and they had to have, like, the police come to, like, help her get her stuff out. So that's the only thing she's got, and that he wanted the engagement ring back. But everything else was her. It was it's complete it doesn't make you think like, "Oh, poor Louis, like, wow, actually, we've been hard on him." It doesn't make you think that because his side is also crazy. Um, but it does make you think like, "Wow, this was a insane lawsuit," and that woman was nuts. And then, Deanna, I had Eliza Rosen on last week.
Yeah. Hey, Lisa.
"Hey, Eliza," and she said in some capacity, she had spoken to this woman, the ex, in a professional capacity to perhaps participate in a project she was doing, not related to housewives, nothing to do with that, just in a
Okay.
professional way, to help with the project she was doing, and that her business partner calls her up and was like, "Yeah, I got a bad vibe there, like, I don't think she'll be good for our project." And she was like, "Wow, wow, wow, am I glad we didn't use her on our project
Well,
because."
first of all, Elisa will have her hands in every single thing. Like she will know everyone. Just
But
like there's
yes.
no one Elisa hasn't touched. You know what I mean? Like that's A. So the fact
Yeah.
that she made her way to Louis' ex, who's incarcerated,
No, she's not incarcerated. Nobody's
oh,
incarcerated. No, no, no. She's just crazy.
I thought
You're
I thought
thinking of Fuda's ex is incarcerated.
I'm so sorry. Wow, we've got a lot of like spicy exes out there.
Got a lot of legal
A lot of
ensnarements.
I am totally thinking of Buddha's ex. Okay, so this woman is loose. She's just
She's
loose, and so okay,
I believe she's a therapist, so watch out what you're doing on therapy.com or wherever
wow,
you are. I don't be careful.
houses. Okay, I mean the thing about the situation that sent something up for me was the fact that Dolores and everyone was saying how stressed out Teresa is and how much she's lost a ton of weight, that even the lawyer was like the level of stress is nothing even compared to her waltzing into prison.
Right,
It was
right.
also nice to hear prison. You know, we've been dancing around it
When she
on the
went
show.
away. When she went
Yeah,
away. Yeah.
she's at camp, away, this, that, and the other. So just to hear, like, yeah, it was prison, period. Dot. Moving on. Got it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. So that I found interesting because I was like, what is happening? What is happening? What is going to come out? Why is Tree at this level? What's at stake? Like, that's kind of what I wanted to know. You
Well,
know,
I think if you read what she's alleging about him and then what he's alleging about her, the ex definitely
yeah,
comes off way worse, way crazier than Louis. And Louis does seem to have been very kind of psychologically abused by this woman. Um, but the things that she was having him say about himself that he signed, that he wrote in his own hand and signed, you have to think probably a lot of that was true. But for him to write it and say it about himself, "I'm a terrible person. I mean, like, I'm not terrible." I mean, it's literally like, um, I can, I have uncontrollable masturbation. I mean, like wild things that he was writing with his own hand about himself to
got
give
it.
to other therapists for treatment for himself. Great. So
Wild.
you really have to you gotta listen. You gotta listen to all 3 parts,
Okay.
and then just send me a
I feel
quick
like I
quick
just want to
text.
learn about it here, but
No, no, no. I think that you'll be glad
oh,
that you listened to the whole
okay.
thing.
Okay.
Um, yeah, Elisa was like, "Did you listen to that Bravo talk?" I'm like, "That is insane." I was like, "It was
Wow.
wild." Yeah. So that's Jersey, and next week now, I was wrong because last week I predicted, okay, probably they'll go to this Berkshire's house because I know one of them burned down, but then I thought they did go to the Berkshires to a different house, but they didn't. So next week will just be they're gonna gather at Rails to talk, and somebody's throwing something and some shit gets violent,
Yeah.
and that will be it. And then we're going to have a reunion where they're also going to, in their own homes or at Rails in different rooms, watch the reunion while like Dolores bounces from room to room.
What? Is
Yeah.
that next week, or is that
No,
two
that's 2
episodes?
weeks, 2
Okay.
weeks from now. So that's what's going to be happening. I
What do
was
you mean
wrong.
Dolores bounces from room to room? What do you mean?
So because they'll have like Teresa's group in one room, which is Jen Aiden and Jackie and maybe Danielle, I don't know. And then in the other room we'll have Melissa, Fuda, um,
Marge.
Danielle, Marge, and then like Dolores is in between both. She'll have to go back and forth. They're going to have them
Wow.
in separate rooms watching the final episode and commenting on it
That's different.
because I think
Avant-garde. Yeah.
I don't want to do this with them anymore. I'm done.
Yeah. Andy is so fed up.
You can
Holy
tell how much he
cow.
hates Jen Aiden when he's in her presence. He hates her.
That's been consistent.
Yeah, that is.
That has been really consistent from
Yeah, so that's good.
minute one.
All right, let's talk about OC. So OC last week, because I put out my Bravo episode on Thursday and OC airs on Thursday. So I'm always like a week behind, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I'm trying to remember what happened last week on OC that was a big thing. So I'm trying to, isn't that terrible that I can't even remember? We had the talk about the new girl, Katie. And when she said she saw the Jen with the blonde hair, when she saw Jen, she's like, "Well, she has a really nice Range Rover." And Emily goes, "Oh, get a good look at it because I'm sure it's going to be repossessed." I was like, "Oh, wow."
Emily's going in. Last week was the football game, right?
Who played football?
Uh,
The last episode I saw was Gina in that hat talking at the restaurant, yelling at Jen about not paying her mortgage, and she had to live in a casita, and she pulled herself up by her bootstraps. And why can't Jen do the same? Like, why does Jen always rely on her dad to bail her out or whatever?
wait a minute. That was, now I'm getting confused, but I think that's 2 episodes ago.
It could be because I went out of town on Thursday for this funeral I had to go to, so maybe I missed the whole. Maybe we could just skip the
Did
OC
you see
segment
the flag
altogether.
football?
No, wait.
Oh, okay.
Were they at a work? They were at a workout.
Well, they were playing flag football.
Okay, no, I'm thinking when they went to a football workout before that.
Yeah, they were preparing.
Okay. Okay, so I even missed what happened last week. So why don't you tell me? Do you remember what happened last week?
Yeah, let me gather myself here. So they basically,
Guys, I'm sorry. This is terrible reporting on my part.
ultimately, ultimately, give me Long Island. What's her name? I'm spacing right now. Sorry.
Casita?
Yes,
Gina.
Casita. Gina.
Gina, yeah.
Gina Casita. What is a goddamn casita, by the way?
I think a casita is a pool house. I think it's a pool house. It's like if you have like a guest room that's a
Oh,
I think it's like if you have a little pool house that has a guest room.
are casitas regional or are they?
I mean, you're the one that lives in LA.
I
Isn't a
know.
casita wouldn't it be an LA thing? Didn't Erica Jane move into a casita?
See, I guess I don't have a full firm grasp on casita, but I didn't even want to say it out loud, but here we are. So, okay, I have a lot of homework. I have to look into the legals on Louis and his ex, and I
Yes,
need to
yes.
drill down on like, what is a casita? Exactly.
I'm gonna, right now, like, what is a casita?
And is it regional?
Um, a casita is a small, self-contained dwelling, typically unattached from the main home, but on the same property. Sometimes a large private room with a bed and a living area that you don't share with other guests.
A guest
Um,
house.
it's a guest house. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a guest house.
A cute name for a guest house.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Puts a little special on it.
Yeah.
So Gina, when they did their flag football, Heather was the referee. Obviously, she's just like to get her hands dirty and play.
That would be me. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to actually do any exercise. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Gina sort of went back at Jen and called her a squatter. And when
she's doubling down then, huh?
She sure did. And when she called her a squatter, Tamara was like eating some sort of snack and literally almost spit it out. I mean, there was, Heather was, I mean, for Heather to hear the word squatter,
She doesn't know what that means. She doesn't.
Yeah, but listen, Heather is not from great wealth. She might have been okay growing up, like, and been comfortable, but I don't think she grew up wealthy. That's my beef with Heather.
Oh, well, she's taken to it like a duck to water.
Well, that's my beef with her is like Heather is ultimately, and I've said this before, so I apologize, but it riles me up every season.
Okay.
She is a C-list actor.
Okay.
A working actor. Okay.
Did you say C-list?
I said I'll change it to working actor. She's a working actor.
Okay, good.
Who took on the role, the part of a wealthy woman.
She's doing great.
Is playing it. Here's my note. If I had, I think it's very flat. That's my note on her performance of a working woman. Of a wealthy woman. Is like, it's a little flat, Heather.
If you were the director, that's the note that you would get.
Add some nuance. Wealthy cannot be your entire personality. That's not normal.
Okay.
It can be how you move. It can be your worldview. But wealthy does not a personality make.
Okay, I can agree with that.
And I think she's playing the part like a C-list actor would.
All right. I agree with all of that. And I also think she shouldn't be allowed to be on this show anymore. You choose to go to Beverly Hills. You have crossed the county line. You need to go to Beverly Hills and stay there and see if they will accept you on their program. Or, more. You don't get to know. You don't know. It's just so funny. And I feel the same way here about it's like Real Housewives of Potomac. And this is my area. I'm like,
okay.
Only one person lived in Potomac. Like literally, like one person lived in Alexandria. One person these are Virginia. It's not even Maryland. Like that drove me crazy too. And I saw Andy speaking one time. I went to like a book signing or something, and people were asking him questions about Potomac. And he goes, "Look, the ladies of Atlanta don't all live in Atlanta. The ladies of Beverly Hills don't all live in Beverly Hills." I was like, "Well, then what are we doing here?"
Well, we seem to be doing it, and we have been.
Yeah.
Jersey's probably the only one who can really hold it down and be like, we're all from Jersey. We're all in Jersey.
We're living in New Jersey.
We're all living in New Jersey.
Yeah. Yes. Same with Dallas. They didn't live in Dallas. Those ladies didn't live in Dallas. Come on now.
Yeah. Well,
Come on.
no one knows enough about Potomac to look into it. So we are just accepting it, We're like, great.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes, that's
fair
right.
enough, fair enough. So yeah,
Katie Ledecky is from Bethesda, which is next door to Potomac. So that's an
that's fair.
Olympic nod for that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Heather hearing squatter,
Uh-huh.
was she started a short circuit on that one. But then they kind of had a little bit of come to Jesus where, we're seeing that Gina is explaining that she's not doing her relationship's kind of falling apart again, and Jen didn't know that. So, it's like, I thought that's why she was, and Jen's like, I thought that was why you would be able to understand some of what I'm going through. So Jen is clueless about nuts and bolts of finances and like what it takes to live in the world. She's completely clueless. And Gina seems to be projecting some of what's going on with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what went on with her and her situation onto Jen with no grace period for like, yeah, you are like a baby that just cracked out of an egg. You've never paid a bill. And we learned she never had a credit card in her name. She literally has never dealt with money before. So there is a real catch up on that.
Yeah. And so now she's with Ryan, who's being investigated for stealing $16 million. So that's great.
It's not going to go well. With that said, she also was like up a creek without a paddle. So
right.
Hopefully she just doesn't make it legal. That's like what I pray for her and her family, that she does not have a legal binding contract with this piso. Because he needs to go sit with Louis' ex and Louis and Fuda and Fuda's ex. Like they all need to sit, crisscross applesauce and just think, just get clear.
Did we see Jesus Jugs this week?
Jesus Jugs was at flag football. I mean,
really? Okay.
Yeah, Shannon is. I really do think that Shannon is like a top tier.
I do too.
One of the best we have.
I agree. I love her. You can't make me stop. I won't quit her. I love her.
Can't quit her because there's so few housewives who are genuinely in the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Where they're not trying to produce, they're in it. They're feeling their feelings. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
She genuinely, I think, is reacting to things that are happening instead of sort of pre-planning what she might say, right. Great point.
Like, even if she does pre-plan in her head a little bit, when she steps into the environment, it's moment to moment. It's just happening. It's all real. And
Great point.
God, is she amazing, and she's gonna go ahead and break that fourth wall. Like that, please trust. Like that fourth wall is neither here nor there to Bator. She's not gonna let that slow her down, She will grab a producer. She is gonna march over to the table where everyone's sitting and be like, hi. Like she just,
Did she do that this week? Did she storm into Video Village this week? She loves to go to Video Village. Like, hi, you need to cut all of that out. I'm not going to have it on camera.
Yeah, she didn't, but I feel it's coming,
Yes.
And it's coming any minute.
I love her too.
I love her. Like, and the way she has entered this season is just, I'm like, hats off. You're a top tier bitch. Like, I love you,
Yeah.
So she's dealing with Alexis, and Alexis is going to her gym. So we learned that.
How many gyms there are? You gotta swing a dead cat and hit a gym in the OC.
Well, this is a boutique gym. Okay, this is not your Bally's Total Fitness that they're at. This seems like a boutique little baby gym that from the sounds of it, holds about 7 people total. Okay. And there goes John marching back into Shannon's gym with Alexis.
Johnny J needs to get a life, get Jesus. I don't know what he needs. Get Jesus Jugs, as it were. He's horrible.
Now, I did see online, is this possible, Mary Payne? I saw something that said Jesus Jugs claims
Uh-huh.
that he offered to pay her the salary she would make on Bravo this season if she did not do the show. Is that possible?
No, he doesn't have that kind of money. I mean, she's not gonna make much, but she won't make starting housewife salary since she's already been on, don't you think?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine they could knock her all the way back down to $10,000 or whatever it is they pay them, because she's already a known entity.
But
Um,
now he did seem to have 75K lying around to pay for Shannon's facelift.
but he wants it back. He's not happy not to have that money. He'd like to have it back.
Sure thing. I just
Mhm.
wonder if he does have a little stash to him somewhere. I don't know. Like, does he have a stash?
He's got grown children. I don't know. We've spent more time than we need to talking about Johnny J and Jesus
Okay.
Jugs. There's so many J's.
So
What we got to get talking about is something I don't get to talk about enough, which is below deck med.
great.
Um, I did have Amy on a couple of weeks ago, and she did her Aisha impression, which you had told me would give me life, and it did. It
So
was
good.
so good. Um, okay, so let's talk about we've got Bree and Ellie, and that's really so. I was in Mississippi this week, and I saw my parents, and my dad is a big, big fan of Below Deck.
Love it.
Really loves Captain Lee. He's fine with Captain Sandy, but he would prefer the King of the Sea, Captain Lee. So I was talking to him about this season. I said, Dad, what do you think about that Bree and Ellie fighting over that one guy? Isn't that crazy? Ellie is being so mean. And he goes, well, I don't pay attention to all that, whatever. I said, then what are we watching? What are we doing?
What are
Th-
we watching?
That's the show. Like, what are you talking about? I don't try not to get too involved in what's happening with
Oh,
the
he's trying.
staff.
Oh, okay. Well, Dad, is he just looking to see the boat get tied off?
Yeah, he's interested in the, boat part of it, and I was like, "Well, can I show you to National Geographic or a different show?" Because I think he just doesn't wanna, like, say, like, "Oh, yeah, I saw that girl and that guy hook up in the hot tub," and that I mean, he probably just doesn't wanna
It's
admit that he saw
a
that.
it's a slippery slope
He's sort of upset that Captain Sandy's girlfriend is coming onto the boat. He's a little upset about that.
because
Um,
of homophobia or because
well, a little bit.
little sprinkle, little
You
dab
know,
will do you.
he's 86 and from the South, so, he's
Yeah.
doing great to watch a show with a female captain of a boat,
Okay.
number
He's
1.
like a fiance is a bridge too far.
Right, but it's okay.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and I did tell him, I said, she's a gospel singer," and that really threw him off his
Hmm.
moors there, yeah. So but he told me, "Do you know Captain Sandy's girlfriend's coming on?" I was like, "I heard that. I was like, "That's great. I think they're gonna get engaged." He was like, "Mm." Um, but the Bree and Ellie of it all, first of all, I did tell Amy I was upset that nobody has told Bree about her mustache.
Oh
Nobody's
well,
letting her know? No
I'm
one?
in a different area of upsetment. I'm having I haven't even seen the mustache. Where I'm at is the two pieces
The
of
2
hair.
pieces and the brows, and it's just I think the lightening of the brows and pulling the hair all the way back or letting it all the way down would be an improvement.
Those when you know when Kyle did the two pieces at a reunion, they just drive me. And I'm not saying you can't bring some fringe down, but when two pieces are not attached to anything else,
I agree with you. It's a
it
hairstyle.
drives me
I agree.
batty.
Doesn't it drive you crazy? People do like a super high pony. It's an Ariana Grande look, a super high pony, and then one giant swath of their hair hangs down in the front, and you're like, "That makes no sense. We have 2 different hairstyles."
I can handle the swath.
No, I can't.
It's something about the two rogue, angry, violent pieces that are sticking down like two giant icicles. I
Yeah.
just hate them deeply. So I haven't even made my way to her mustache, to be honest.
Well, Amy said it's because sometimes when they walk in the galley, they have harsh lights, and so she just hasn't taken a peek in a mirror in those harsh lights.
Sure.
So what we have going on the boat here is that Bree is hooked up with Joe, and Ellie had not staked a claim to Joe, but she has let Joe know very clearly that even though they have hooked up, Bree and Joe have hooked up, she's open and ready, open for business.
Mhm.
Ellie also has taken some real liberties with the title of second stew. She has decided that that makes her queen of the boat
Mhm.
and can boss Bree around. And okay, so this, all right, so I wanted to specifically, we'll talk about laundry next, but specifically, I want to talk about when Ellie was like, I'm going on my break. But I didn't do any of the cabins. I just put 4 placemats on the table for lunch. So you've got to do all the cabins and serve lunch and continue with the laundry while I'm on my break. She did nothing. And Bree was really, really mad because she was like, you have to do the cabins first. Like you do that before you set the table, you do anything. And now you're going on your break and you've done nothing. And so
Correct.
that was where when Ellie goes in there and is like standing, I thought Ellie was going to hit her. She was aggressively talking to Bree saying, don't talk to me like that. Why are you? And she was like, please just go away so I don't say something I regret. Please leave. I don't want to talk to you. I'm very upset. I thought Bree handled it correctly. Like, I'm very upset you didn't do the cabins. Please leave and just let me get my work done.
I agree.
And then Ellie wouldn't let it go, wouldn't
No.
let it go. Like poke, 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 poke. And I thought Ellie was completely, for a myriad of reasons, but in this specific situation, I thought she was completely in the wrong by not letting her just do her work. She should have been like, okay, and gone to her room and taken her 2-hour nap.
Right, because I think Ellie did say to her, either pick up a rag
Right.
or goodbye. But this, no.
You're not helping. You're
What she
standing
did.
over me. I'm
Yeah,
trying to clean a shower and you're standing over me saying you're not allowed to speak to me like that. You're not allowed to speak to me like that.
right.
I was like, I think she is. I think she is.
She's so
And
crazy with the second stew title.
it's completely wild. And then, so that happens. Then she so openly is making out with Joe, which is fine. Joe's whatever. They shouldn't have, if they did it on the dance floor, okay. But when they got in the, like she said, when you got in the taxi and were making out in the back, like they weren't making out. It was like hand on the pants, up the boob, third base. Like I was waiting to see a blowjob. I mean,
Oh, God. It was definitely, everyone was going for the gold, really and truly. They were, it was a proper hookup. I mean, we don't really see a grab of the D too often on these programmings.
I sent you
So
a text. I was like, in the words of Lisa Kudrow in The Comeback, I don't need to see that.
yeah, it was a lot.
It was, yeah.
Ellie was going to reclaim. She was going to reclaim her time, and she did. She was like, "Bye, Brie. I got this. I'll take it from here. Thanks."
It was wild that the 3 of them were talking, and while, like, Bree is sitting there talking, she's, like, rubbing all over Joe on his back.
No, I was yelling at the television for Brie to go to the other side of the table. Like, take yourself out of that scenario, girl. Like, this
Yeah,
is horrible. Please stop trying to insert yourself into their private flirty conversation that's happening. She was like, well, like, no, I understand you like him too, but go to the other side of the table.
and what did you think about Ian with the extra A being like, he's so sad because he really likes Ellie, and then he's just like, "I'm just gonna take myself home," and he just went home.
See, I thought maybe he was taking himself home to reflect
About
on
getting in
his
trouble.
shitty performance and his useless behavior on the boat. Um,
Do we think Ian just needs a good set of contact lenses? Because he seems to not be able to see things a lot. His not being able to see things seems to be his main issue.
oh, mate, I mean, he makes me I Ian for me, that's the worst case scenario. Someone who's just passively terrible at their job.
Oh, I
But
thought you
they
meant because he was trying to, like, so openly hook up with you, and you're like, "Get a hint, I'm not interested."
No, I mean that was Ellie was making me pee laughing the way she was dealing with him. It
I know.
was
I would have
so
taken myself right off that dance floor. I don't care how much of a bop that I loved that I wanted to dance to. I'd have been like, no. He will
Yeah, that
not, he
was
will,
tough.
that was tough. That was tough.
Those couple tough things. No, but I just think he's so terrible, and he thinks like he gets that feedback from Sandy, and he fires back to camera saying like, "I think I'm doing a good job." Like,
I mean,
dude,
I'm
you're
like,
not.
how many more charters do we have? Because we're about to be down 2 stews and 1 bosun. I mean,
We are, and all of them are shitty.
yes, yes.
So, is there another marginally less shitty group waiting in the wings to bring on? Because like, what's happening here?
I think that was Amy that said she thinks that they put this group together really fast
Yeah,
because of what happened on the last below deck with the essay and the all that. So she thinks they cut
right.
that season short. So they had to put this ragtag crew together too fast. And that's maybe like why Bree wasn't vetted because she's quit every job she's ever had, or been fired, one of the two. And then Jono is a self-taught cook who's
A lot of like, just we're not landing on actual skill sets anywhere.
yeah, we've
We're
got
just,
Aisha and she knows what
thank
she's
God.
doing. This episode,
Nathan, Gail, amazing. Joe's
yeah,
fine. Joe's
he's
not, he's fine.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But
What did you think last night or a couple nights ago, that Nathan and Gail were on that couch making out? And she said, I want us just to be for us. Like she didn't want anybody to know. He looked directly at the camera and goes, well, there's no cameras around.
I mean, listen, this girl is the full package.
Oh, yeah.
I can't blame him. She's she's like 1990s swimsuit model,
Yes.
natural beauty, gorgeous.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
She's
Yes.
a badass at her job.
Yes.
She's an insane dancer. She's cool. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
what I don't know what he's supposed to do. Yeah, look at the camera, say we're alone. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I co-signing it. Go do you get her? Like,
And by the way, don't let her go to the next boat without you. Like you're a package
no,
deal. She can't be left
she
alone on
cannot
a
be
boat.
going on boats alone. Not for longevity. No,
No, no, no, no.
she's too elite. Really.
Um, let's talk about the laundry.
Okay.
What is happening that makes the laundry so hard?
Oh boy.
Is it too many people that she's doing laundry for? Or does nobody have a tag on their clothes that says whose it is? When it comes in, why doesn't she put it in a pile with the sticky on top and says, this is for Gail, and then do that? I don't understand why it is so hard. And question number 2 for you is, do you think Ellie is fucking it up on purpose? Because I do.
I personally think that and Amy and I did talk about this, but what we're seeing with Brie is it's like she has no sense of what the task of laundry is. So we're starting at 0.
But aren't we 3 weeks in? We're 3 weeks in now, right?
Well, we're seeing what 3 weeks in, having started at 0 looks like. 0,
Yeah.
okay? I'm not talking about, I once lifted up a washing machine lid and threw, like, no, that had never happened before
Right.
her
Okay.
body set foot. So there's just like something happening where she's, I believe, so overwhelmed by this task
Yeah.
that even if she is starting to get it, she doesn't even trust herself. Like she just is made so many mistakes by week
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
that she can't see the forest through the trees. And this laundry room, she walks in there and she's going to war. She's like, it's her verse, the laundry room. And so the second another human being, like, she barely has her wits about her in there. She is like trying to write down every last detail to try to ground herself in the details of what's happened.
Yes.
So when somebody walks in, Ellie,
Yeah.
it's like everything goes back to zero. Like
Yeah.
everything she's set up, so when she sees Ellie go like this with a garment, it's like she feels like everything goes back to zero and she can't breathe.
She can't also remember, like, okay, so there's we can see the machines going. Like that one has darks, that one has color. So we can see them, but why she can't figure out whose clothes she put in there.
No, she goes to black, every time mentally. It's like the slate gets wiped. And
I love how Captain Sandy comes in and is like, okay, throw these pants away because these are my white capri pants that are now gray, and white capri pants are my signature. I
she's
mean,
like, hi, this is my source of power. The boat can only drive correctly if I'm in these. So
right.
basically, you're asking me to drive this giant yacht into rocks because I can't perform without a crisp white capri.
Yes.
They're my secret power.
They're going to be dingy. I'm never going to wear them again. Yeah.
God, no. I mean, to ask her to wear them again, to place them in her cabin looking dingy is such a disrespect to this woman who has made a career. She's done what so few can do. She is a captain,
mm-hmm.
a female captain, and she's going to be disrespected by these two strands and stash. Handing over a dingy pair of white capri?
It's a no. It's a no. No. And then she just puts she puts other people's clothes in other people's cabins, and they're like, clearly this men's size large shirt does not belong to Gail.
I know, and I don't recall ever seeing this problem. Have we ever seen clothing? So whatever labeling system has been in place in the history of the show, it's worked. So either the system is different than it's always been, or it's like, I think she is just blindly freaking out every time she's putting a pile together. I really do.
Deanna, help me understand. I work on this boat. I come in and go, here's my laundry. It's a red, it's a blue, it's a white. These are the only colors we're working with. 3 colors.
Okay.
So I need you. And then here my roommate comes in with their red, their blue. Okay. So we're going to do.
No, see, that's where I was doing okay. But if I'm Bree, that additional stuff, she was centered with that first request. Like, you bringing me your white, your red, your blue. Bree said she got that. Like, she did have that. When the roommate came in with that, with additionals, that's where we lose the plot. We can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, she no longer feels safe.
I just don't understand. Just do 1 load of whites, and everybody's name is in their collar. I mean, like,
what you're saying.
I mean,
yeah, I do hear what you're saying. I just don't know that it's possible, at this time.
I think about, like, my kids went to camp, and so once a week, the laundry service would come. They would all take their laundry bag with their name on it, and their name was supposed to be in the back of all their clothes. But even if it wasn't, their laundry bag with their name on it was taken to the pile, and it's hundreds of kids. They would all come back with their clothes in that laundry bag. So there is a system that works somewhere.
Oh, somewhere. Yeah, somewhere.
Just not with Bree. Not with Bree.
God, no. I mean, it makes me think of, there was like a time where I was a cocktail waitress at the Bonaventure Hotel downtown Los Angeles. Okay. And there's like a circular bar.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a convention, okay. And so it's mostly a convention hotel. But it was a convention where everyone showed up at the bar at the same time, and we had no staff. And that's how I think Bree feels. I went, at one point, my tray had no less than like 25 drinks on it, and I went black, and my sweet manager, David, came marching over. He saw it on my face. I was like, I don't know what any of these are or who any of these go to. Like, I was over my skis. And I think that's Bree's experience. Every time she walks into that laundry room, she's starting in black, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's interesting that she just can't get it. She just can't get it. I know.
Oh,
Bless her
oh.
heart. Well, what do we think is going to happen? Because at the end of the episode, we see Captain Sandy call Bree and Ellie in because they keep fighting. And every time Captain Sandy goes somewhere, she happens to run into Bree crying. Just every time she leaves the bridge, she comes up and is like, "Oh, there's." How about Bree handing Captain Sandy the towels? Like, can you give the guys these towels?
That was
I
the
have to go get
greatest.
drinks. I was
The
like,
greatest. She's so green
yeah,
that she doesn't even know how freaking inappropriate that is. Like, she
yeah.
can't, she doesn't know. It's not like, I know this is insane, but I have to grab the Prosecco and we're out of time, baby. So I need you to like hand it. Is there any world in which, as the captain of this vessel, you will pass out some hot towels? She doesn't even know that it's like wildly inappropriate. She's just like giving her a task.
Yeah. Like, since you're standing here doing nothing, can you
Yeah, you
just,
seem to have your thumb up your ass. So if
yes,
you don't mind.
help a sister out? Well, what do
Exactly.
we think is going to happen? Because they're kind of teasing it, like either they're both going to get fired or they're not going to get fired. Because when Captain Sandy said, "Is there a world in when you guys can work this out?" And Ellie starts to talk, and Bree goes, "Nope,
Nope.
mm-mm." Also, the
I
wrong
love.
answer. Also, the wrong answer.
Is it the wrong answer or is it the truth?
It's the truth. But if you want to keep your job, you say, I would love to sit down with Ellie and see if we can work this out. That's the correct answer if you want to keep your job.
Well, it doesn't seem like Brie has a lot of experience with keeping jobs. She has yet to make it through a
Great point.
full. So her normal is, this is the time I bow out. Like, this is like, I don't ever make it to the end. So like, we are right on time. I'm gonna head out.
Oh,
Yeah. I
that's
I
so funny.
I think that they thought they were gonna scare both of them straight.
Yeah,
And they didn't factor in that Bria's never finished a
right.
job
Yeah.
and she comes from privilege and may not need the money.
Yeah, if she's constantly quitting jobs or getting fired, she doesn't need the money, because if she needs the money, she would be like, "I'm so sorry. Let me do whatever I can to make this work." But
I
she's just like,
don't
"I
think
don't give a
she
shit. I've
does.
been to Greece before. Who cares?" You know?
Yeah, she's like, we are at, yeah. So I think that they overshot that one because I don't know that they have anybody, and it cannot be Brie alone
No, 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 no,
or
no, no.
Asia.
No, no, no,
Cannot
not
be.
oh, poor Asia. Asia. That's it. And you guys, I will say in advance, I am sorry that I didn't take notes on this so that it went a little more smoothly. But because I'm talking to Deanna and she jumped in and told me what happened on OC this week since I had no idea. I appreciate that, because Deanna, what if I would have had somebody on here that like I've never met? It was like, so can you just tell me what happened on OC this week? Welcome to my podcast.
Listen, I like, similar to Brie, you handed me them hot towels and you said, "Get to work, bitch."
Also, I believe they're cold towels. I believe they're cold towels when they
Oh,
get off.
really?
Yeah, they're. Don't you think they get in? They can hand them whole
Guess
like
so.
cold towels to cool them down.
Right, because it's warm. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes, yeah,
yeah.
that
Either
makes
way, you
sense.
shouldn't hand them to Captain Sandy. No,
Yeah, no,
no, it's
you
not.
handed me some cold towels and said, "Look alive, sweetheart."
I didn't watch the show. Will you do it for me? Yeah. You know what, guys? Next week I'll be all caught up. You guys, Deanna has a podcast called How to Be Less Old. I believe I just got something from your Substack announcing what you're talking about this week. Can you tell me?
Well, today, Emily, my co-host of the podcast. So please, first of all, you can march yourself over to Apple Podcasts. You can march yourself over to Spotify, and you could subscribe to our podcast. Period. End of story. Done. You don't have
Yes.
to worry about anything else. Now,
Yes.
we also have a companion piece to the podcast, which is our Substack. And
Yes.
we write weekly articles about, getting the lingo together, connecting with the youth, staying on top of trends, and staying on top of terms. So
Yeah.
today, there was a new term for one of the male gymnasts, the one with the glasses. Have you been
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
keeping up?
Love him.
Great, fabulous. So the internet is calling him baby girl.
Thought they were calling him Superman because he's like Clark Kent because he takes those glasses off and he pummels around, then he puts them back on.
They're calling him Superman as well, but they're
Okay.
also calling him baby girl.
Okay.
And we didn't know what that meant,
No,
obviously.
I
We
don't.
we have a sense of it, but it's like it is meant for a guy
Mhm.
that's sort of like a sweetheart, sensitive, like
Yeah.
yeah. So we kind of unpack baby girl a little bit. We unpack the fact that it seems pubic hair has had a moment. It's sort of living its full, freest life. The youths are no longer trimming her back and pulling her out and waxing her down and lasering her off. They are more free, letting her fly free.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
these are the
Choice.
things that we need to be aware of,
Mhm.
just to, the more you know, the more you know. And something called, oh gosh,
I wish I
it's,
didn't know that, but go ahead.
well, now you didn't give me, boundaries. You just said what's new. You said what's new.
Yeah.
So there's something called a morning shed that hashtag has been like all over the TikTok.
Okay.
So girlies mostly are going to bed with a bonnet to protect their hair, a mask, one of the overnight
Yeah.
collagen masks, a
Uh-huh.
mask on top of the head,
Mhm.
something to close the lips so a chin strap and something in your mouth so that you're only breathing out of the nose, which is supposed to be bedding for you. So the morning shed is like the moment all this comes off. You're peeling, you're taking a nose strip off, and you
Uh-huh.
are welcoming yourself back to your day free of all the shit you put on at night.
That's hilarious. I've never heard of such. I do slather on a lot of potions and lotions at night and put in a mouth guard.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm doing my trays, my
yeah,
like whatchamacallit trays. I
like
did
are you doing
Invisalign.
Invisalign? Yes, I've done it too. Yes, yes.
Now, when you say you've done it, you don't have to do it anymore.
Well, I just have my retainers now, so it's just like
Oh, okay.
the last
Yes, yes,
tray, so you
yes.
have forever. Yes, yes.
I thought you were saying night guard, that was something separate from. No, your Invisalign trays
I'm
ultimately.
putting in my Invisalign retainers, I call them, even though really it's just the last set of trays.
Yeah, last set of
Yeah.
trays. I did try the overnight collagen mask. That's been very viral. Have you
Mm.
seen that in your travels?
No, I haven't, but I can't imagine anything would stay on my face because I'm a side sleeper.
It does.
How?
It just basically, it's very oopy goopy. So
Uh-huh.
you kind of have to do it when you're laying down. You would get it on right before, after you wash your face, etc. You put it on clean skin, and then just lie back in bed, maybe watch a show. Give yourself about a half hour for it to firm up, and
Okay.
then you can sleep on it. It sort of really suctions to your face.
I'm gonna need a link to that because as you know, whenever you tell me something, I immediately go and buy it.
Well, I think when I've seen people's results with it, um, I felt like my results are good, but I also am slathering. I think some people probably are not as hydrated
Mhm.
in general,
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel like this face has gotten quite hydrated over the last few years. So I
Mhm.
don't think I had the results of like, oh my God, I'm glowing like I've never glown before. With that said, it is great, and your skin does feel like super bouncy, and there
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah, I'll send you the link. They took a little while to come in because I think they are so viral right now that they're
Yeah.
sold out.
I did buy the laser that you told me to buy, and then I told my friend John, who's a listener that I love that does, Botox and stuff for me. I said, what are you thinking about my new at-home laser?" And
Yes.
he was like, I'm gonna need to see it in person. I'm
Okay.
intrigued.
Okay.
I think he is a nurse esthetician with a med spa. So he's like, Yeah, I'm wary, but I'd like to say I was like, "It cost a pretty penny, so I think it works."
Well,
Because
you
it
have to
costs so
use it.
much. Yeah, I do use it.
That's the
Yeah.
whole thing with those goddamn devices. I
Yeah.
think they're amazing. I have like a whole at home setup
Spa.
here,
Yeah, me
spa,
too. Mhm.
ultimately with this,
Yeah.
that, and the other. But, you know, if you're not using them, they're not going to work. But I do love the near laser, and you can get can I say that on
Yeah, please.
if you go to my Instagram, there was like, you can get a link for 10% off on there.
Is that also on your website or that's just
It
on the
is.
Instagram? It is,
It's
okay.
under my contact information on my website. It's in a weird spot, but it's there.
DeannaCheng.com.
Yeah, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah. You guys
But
go to
yeah,
DeannaCheng.com and that's where you can find out where to follow Deanna. She's got the Montage Queen. She's got How to Be Less Old. She's just got her own self.
my
All
own
those all those things are there. All her Instagrams, all her links if you want to get a laser. I got a laser and I'm just lasering myself. I can't do it when the dogs are around because my dog gets very afraid of that sound of the laser.
Oh shoot, really?
Oh, she like went into like hiding under the pillows scared, trying to escape our home.
What?
I don't because it goes beep when it wants you to move to a different spot, and it
Yeah.
really scared her. I don't know why, it's weird, so I have to do it when she's not around.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Damn.
never
Just like listen. Tell
uh-uh.
her buckle up, Buttercup, as we had to say earlier,
Yeah, beauty is pain, Ginger, and these are things mommy has to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like look, listen, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Everybody follow Deanna Cheng and go to her website and go to her Instagrams and listen to How to Be Less Old and subscribe to the Substack because I get it in my inbox and I enjoy it quite a bit.
Thank you, friend. I so appreciate this. Great to touch down with you. I liked being loose as a goose on here and just having some fun, you know?
Loose is the key word of today.
It's the summer,
Key.
goddammit.
I'll talk to you later. Thanks, Deanna.
Bye.